Hey, what is up you guys, the name is Sub-Zero Exabyte. Like always I am coming right back at you swinging from this little place here in Minecraft world. So I decided to come here to my Minecraft world and have some off time to relax a little bit, starting off with the new summer days arriving. So as you saw, I really did not plan on coming back here for a while, so I basically have nothing in my chests and I will need to gather some stuff to make sure that I do not starve in this world, because that would be a very bad thing to happen. But we are with this noob right now. Maybe that noob took some stuff with him the other day. If I find that kid, I am going to give it to him. You have no idea. This is all probably going to be really easy. I mean, come on, give me a break, man. I need this win right now. My god, why does this always happen to me? I cannot get over this right now. So we are going to start out with an idea. I want to build a treehouse chip and I want it to be huge, which is my home ground. At least that is what I see myself as right now. So that is really good for me. So let's start by making some actual shelter. I will start the base for you guys and then you can move on and do the rest, but make sure that you do it properly because I will not be watching you do this the whole time. Alright Chip, I am building the base structure for you and you can just build up on that thing right here. Do you guys have any skills that you could be of use with without anyone near that would be able to see me or anything, because this is pretty much one of my weakest moments and I would rather not have it that anyone would be able to see that, because I feel like I am not some weak dude hanging out at Minecraft. But of course right now you guys will know that I actually am, which feels pretty bad, but like I said, or as I will say now, I do not have any secrets for you guys. So I think that this thing will pretty much protect me from anyone who is in here, even this noob. I mean, I really want to win this challenge because I feel like I could easily beat this noob, and that is pretty much it. I will just roll with it right now and try and do my best, because come on, if I can make this huge tree house with a mechanical entrance, well, come on people who will be able to find that. There is just no way that anyone will find out that I am here, and otherwise, well, I actually have no idea what I will do then, because this is basically my last resort right now. I am literally on my last straw, since I am looking like a fool trying to do all of this stuff with redstone, because well, I am basically a gigantic treehouse noob and I do not like it when you guys or someone else will be able to see me as a noob. Alright, so guys, please forgive me right now for what I am doing with this redstone, because I literally have no idea what I am doing right now. This is just some on the fly thinking right here, because I literally have no idea how to use all of this. So just beware of that right now. So if you have any sort of tips and tricks for me, well, that will always be welcome, of course. But right now I do not really have enough time to go look for some tutorials, because I will really need to make sure that no one is better than me here, because I usually get intimidated pretty quick and I am like a turtle. I will need a shell so that I can hide in there, and right now I do not have a shell, so this is basically my shell right now. I will have to make sure that I can get through this, otherwise I will not have my shell for whenever more people show up, and then well, that means that it is time to panic for me. It was like when you make a move in chess and just as you take your finger off the piece, you see the mistake you've made. And there's this panic because you don't know yet the scale of disaster you've left yourself open to. This literally describes what I am doing right now. That was a quote, by the way, from an author called Kazuo Ishiguro. I probably butchered the pronunciation on that name, but that does not matter right now. What matters is that this is a chess game and I am running out of plays to make. But I will not let this end in a stalemate. No, I will be battling this noob until the end of time, or at least battling him by building better stuff, like this cool shower thing here. This is pretty fly if you ask me. So I am definitely going to win this, of course. I mean, look at this right here. This is just art. All of these things right here, well, this is all just pure art right now. So I am pretty sure that I have already won this right now. But let's just continue before he finishes his little thing before I finish mine, and we cannot have that. I have decided to go out and make my farm the same way. I am just going to be building a thing that is not like any other thing, but it will be better than his. I mean, look at what he has, man. That is not good at all. I am easily going to be winning, just so that I can make sure that I do not end up getting my butt kicked by this little robot right here. I really have got no clue about who he is, but I mean, if he challenges me to a build off, then well, I am not going to be declining that. I am pretty sure that I can kick this guy his butt, no questions asked at all. Now I really like this build off challenges. Actually this is like the best idea that I have ever come up with right now. But this farm is nice and all, and I want to make sure that I can farm all the wheat and sugar cane around here, and it will hopefully fuel the tree so it can grow big and strong just like you can. But we have to move on and make sure that we can build the second stage, which as you can see is the house build, and I am really excited for this one because I am one of the best builders in town. But first things first, I am already proud of the fact that I was able to get the idea from myself, which I had applied to basically everything right now. So that was a pretty awesome thing, to be honest. So I basically came up with this whole challenge thing after this robot was trying to be better than me in some stuff. So I decided to make this little treehouse style stuff and make sure that I can show him once and for all that I am a winner and not a loser. But something is telling me that this will not work out the way that I wanted it to. It is just something that I feel coming up. I mean, that does not mean that this is a bad thing. I mean, I would rather have things go wrong while I am in the beginning stages of building this, because otherwise I would have to start all over again when I am almost done, because that would be a bummer. Now I will start building and stop the talking. So this new little treehouse is about done right now. Now just the stairs, and we are basically done with that thing. So now that we have a little house, or I must say, a little hidden house, I can just pretty much put whatever I want down there and no one will find out about any of the stuff that I put down there until someone comes along again to blow up my house, and then they will pretty much just find me right there, and at that moment I am probably going to be sad again for another week. But that is just how this goes, I guess. At least with everything that is happening right now, I am able to keep it kind of new and fun, I guess. I mean, it is not that I like the fact that people come in and come find my new house again, but with everything that has been happening lately, and by that I mean all of the hordes of noobs and all those types of things, well, at least my life is getting more and more interesting by the day. So that is a good thing, I guess. At least it is better than sitting around all day with nothing to do but listen to Deja Nintendo, which is an album by Brand New. And if you have no idea who Brand New are, well then I would recommend you to go ahead and listen to the album Deja Nintendo, and you will definitely fall in love with it. It is a promise. But if you do not fall in love with it, then in that case, no backseas. But that might speak for itself, I guess. Now this hidden treehouse thing is almost done for right now. I mean, it is being built like a freaking bunker or something like that. We might even be able to use this as some kind of doomsday shelter or something like that. I mean, I have seen those shows on the Discovery Channel, or was it Nat Geographic? I cannot remember. At least there was a show where they had a lot of people who build these types of basement in their house, or somewhere out in the woods. And I do that in a tree, and they would be going to use those bunkers or basements whenever the so-called doomsday would come. Well, I guess that they have all been bamboozled because the day of doom has not come yet. But then again, I bet that everyone is thinking that those guys are crazy. But once the doomsday actually comes along, then they will have the last laugh about it. Now of course it would not be that much of a bad idea to be building a freaking doomsday shelter in a tree, because those things usually are hidden somewhere way down in the ground, which is like a place where no one will ever find them, which is mad decent to me. I mean, come on, that would like be the best thing ever for someone in my position. But I mean, the doomsday shelter would be a good idea because when something happens I would be okay down there. I mean, when the doomsday would come, and we would all be dead except for them, aka the people who actually took the time to build a doomsday shelter like that. Well, at that moment we would not even be able to have the last laugh, because we are not able to laugh about things when we are dead. I mean, it sounds pretty sad, right? But it is the harsh truth. But then again, right now I am just going to use these hiding places for my new chests, and not for some kind of doomsday preparation techniques or something like that. So that is pretty alright, I guess. At least we have some time to think about everything that might be going to happen or something. Now people cannot easily find this treehouse, and as you know, if you do not know where something is, then you cannot get to it, and you cannot take anything out of said thing. Now that kind of worked, but that only solved one problem. And do not get me wrong, it did actually solve the problem with people stealing stuff out of my chest, but it did not solve the problem where people were still coming into my house every other freaking day. So today I am going to be combining these two ideas of mine. One is the hiding part, and 2 is the house part. So since hiding the chests of mine worked out well, I have decided to go out and make my house the same way. I am just going to be building a house that is not like any other house, just so that I can make sure that I do not end up getting swatted and stuff like that ever again. Not that I have ever been swatted, but that was just metaphorically. Now we cannot just hide a house. We have to make this some kind of way where it is just going to be camouflaged really well within the environment. So we will have to make it blend in well. And what better way to do this than to just build the house inside of a tree? That is like the best idea that I have ever come up with right now. But first things first, I am already proud of the fact that I was able to get the idea from myself, which I had applied to the chest/stealing problem. So that was a pretty awesome thing, to be honest. But I was able to apply that same idea that I used on the chest problem, and I am going to be putting it to work with the housing problem that I have got right now. But I am just hoping that once I am done with all of this right here, that I can just live here in peace again. But something is telling me that this will not work out the way that I wanted it to. It is just something that I feel coming up. I mean, that does not mean that this is a bad thing. I mean, I would rather have things go wrong while I am in the beginning stages of building this, because otherwise I would have to start all over again when I am almost done. But that is not something that I want to do right now. So I am just praying to the gods of the trees. Alright, so guys, please forgive me right now for what I am doing with this thing here, because I literally have no idea what I am doing right now. This is just some on the fly thinking right here, because I literally have no idea how to use all of this. So if you have any sort of tips and tricks for me, well, it will always be welcome, of course. But right now I do not really have enough time to go look for some tutorials, because I will really need to make sure that no one finds me in this hole. I mean, no one will find me, right? I told that him to just go away a couple of minutes ago, so I hope that he respects that instead of following me or coming back with like a group of guys or something, because I usually get intimidated pretty quick and I am like a turtle. I will need a shell so that I can hide in there, and right now I do not have a shell, so this is basically my shell right now. I will have to make sure that I can get through this, otherwise I will not have my shell for whenever more people show up, and then, well, that means that it is time to panic for me. To be honest, building this tree home right now also makes me feel at home for some reason, and because I always used to make these things a couple of years back when I was just playing on my own instead of with you guys, but you know, that might actually just be me rambling, to be honest. Who knows, actually. I just know that it feels good to be making this thing right now. But of course I am going to keep feeling this feeling of being home and this feeling of nostalgia. So I thought that today I am going to be pursuing that feeling of nostalgia. And I mean, I really love the feeling of nostalgia just because it makes me feel at home, and it gives me a little throwback to my childhood and stuff. So I am just going to go ahead and do whatever it takes to get that nostalgic feeling back into my veins. And that is really something that I long for right now. Even though all of this has nothing to do with the modern house tutorial, I just feel like sometimes it is just good to talk about things like this, because you could just build this house right here, and it would not feel like home. That would be a bad thing, I guess. So alright, as you may have seen right there, the walls are done, and this wall is going to allow me to just stay with it, and it will not let anyone else in. So that is really cool. And of course no one will notice that this thing is there, because like I said, no one is going to just be running into a wall without knowing that there is something up with that thing. That is why the wall/pillar on that train station in London works that well. I mean, who is going to suspect some random wall for something like that? I mean, no one is just going to take their cart and run into a pillar like that. So I mean, all of those people that work in the wizarding world have got all of their secret and magic stuff figured out really well. But now I am just going to have to perform the same trick, because otherwise I am still going to be eating cake for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Even though that is for beginners, you do not even know. That was a quote from a song by Donald Glover, aka the Childish Gambino, and he is a cool guy. Again, not that this makes any sense right here now. Now we are basically done, so that I can test to see if this base is fully operational. Yes, I just quoted Star Wars. What are you going to do about it? That is right, there is nothing that you can do about it, because right now Sub-Zero Exabyte is a free man. Of course that means if there will be no visitors coming around right now, because then he would have been able to hear my entire plan and I would be screwed either way. But of course that does not matter right now. So just like I said, there is going to be a lot changing around here. Since I cannot just go out and about anymore, and I will have to stick close to my house because otherwise there will be a lot going on throughout my days. But I will make sure that I can still do whatever is necessary to make these videos for you guys. Even if it means that I am going to be making a video that is just me sitting in a chair by some fireplace in a red kimono with some kind of a pipe and a newspaper. Yeah, just imagine me sitting like that. And I would love to see you guys in the next video.